have been any more obvious. Unless she'd decked you and jumbled off you on the floor, and even then you probably thought she tripped.
More on this story in a bit. Hey friends, I'm Mike, a late diagnosed autistic adult, and welcome to February with my first video on relationships as an autistic person. Now, this is a really big topic, so I'm going to start by sharing some of my experiences and some scientific research that might be relatable. Now, we are going to be keeping to Peggy 16 or PG stories today.
Peggy 16.
For people that are neurotypical, flirting can be a playful, non-confrontational way to show interest in someone without saying it outright. It's apparently intuitive, but as somebody who scripts all of his conversations, this can be absolutely impossible to understand, yet alone send the right signals, whatever that means. Here's a picture of me holding Maple as my main dating profile picture. Pretty clueless, I guess you might think now, but an upgrade on the man holding a fish photos that seem to have been popular on dating sites of the era. Remember, the first tip, remember to tidy up behind you when you're taking your dating profile pictures. And for that consistent cat branding, here's the trunk of my car, fully decked out in the latest feline fashion statements. Reflecting back on my journey as an undiagnosed autistic person, I'm amazed that my autistic traits weren't recognised sooner. I embraced my passions, but maybe, as my ADHD friends suggested, maybe a tad too much. Maybe a tad too much. Not so much that you become your own warning label. Years back, I made a new friend, clearly interested in spending time with me. We shared a love for the ocean and the environment. We hung out, we exchanged texts. I even photographed her apartment for a listing. But when things got awkward, like surprise visits awkward, I started to pull back, eventually ghosting after a year. I'm not proud of it. There may have been better ways to manage it, but there we go. I'm sharing it with you. I'm being vulnerable. Let me know what you think about my performance in the comments below. Anyway, and for a laugh, here's a friendly reenactment between Nina and I reminiscing about that chapter.
The late night 1,000-word texts weren't a clue. The pouring out of all her problems weren't a clue. That having any excuse she could to come and see you or meet up with you wasn't a clue. Going into workshops asking for you wasn't a clue. Yeah, we're talking naivety here. Couldn't have been any more obvious. Unless she'd decked you and jumbled off you on the floor, and even then you probably thought she tripped.
Talking about missing clues. I'm a pro at pattern matching, but the data has to be clear and unambiguous. Why can't neurotypical communication just be clear-cut? I appreciate how a story about how someone flirting with an autistic person and the autistic person then not getting it isn't exactly the most unusual story, and that's exactly my point. If you want to date an autistic person, you've got to change the way you interact with them. It's not the same as someone neurotypical. I was reading a study from 2018 entitled "Are You Flirting With Me? Autistic Traits, Theory of Mind, and Inappropriate Courtship," which set out to investigate whether theory of mind and the reported ability to read nonverbal cues of romantic interest would explain the association between autistic traits and inappropriate courtship. Inappropriate courtship? The study claims to be the first ever to look into the courtship difficulties with autistic people, and it's only about 6 years old. It mentions high-functioning individuals in the first sentence and goes on to state that theory of mind, yes, that theory of mind, and this theory of mind, develops later in autistic people and causes significant difficulties with flirting and being appropriate. Now, we're not talking about the highest quality research here, but we're looking at about 195 university students who completed an AQ, which is an autism quotient questionnaire, and then a theory of mind. It's called the Eyes Test Revised, to see if you pick up on apparently flirty eyes. Why are we talking about this? Look, this is the take-home message that I would like you guys to hear, and that is that autistic flirting research kind of only really started a few years ago, around the same time as this. And it's as scientifically rigorous as just comparing the results of two questionnaires. I mean, one is just a series of black and white grainy eyes, revealing only as much of the other person as though you were looking at them through like a burqa. This is editing Mike. I was just editing the video and we're talking about eye contact. So if you just look down here, I thought I'd make myself an eye contact chart for my video notes. And it's just that the flirting level of eye contact being just right is such a small thing, and it's so easy to overshoot into too much and, be accused of being creepy or having little to none, which is kind of the safe zone, I think, for a lot of us. Just being disinterested or coming across as disinterested, perhaps we're worried about shooting up here a little bit. This sort of like normal level of eye contact, or just a little bit here and there, this is just kind of the bit that really gets us sometimes. But yeah, I just thought this bit here, just how much eye contact is the right amount to give you like looking across the room, that kind of thing. And I was straight here, so I smile, stop, repeat 3 times, just how I script stuff. Thanks a lot, bye. All right, so there's crap research on autistics. What about neurotypicals? Well, there's loads. In 2018, a study breaking down the flirting styles of heterosexual pairs of strangers, so 51 couples, they put their flirting to the test for science. The styles that they identified are 1. Physical flirting. Think body language, leaning in, touch, close proximity. 2. Traditional flirting. Classic gender roles in play. This is women just being demure and waiting to be chased, and men being assertive. 3. Sincere flirting. It's all about emotional connection, less about teasing people. 4. Polite flirting. Slow and steady. Respect is the name of the game. 5. Playful flirting. This is the fun-loving, banter-filled dance of attraction that we would commonly think of as flirting. The participants likely weren't autistic, and my response to these styles, well, if you're going to touch me or be overly playful without a solid rapport, I will be confused and not flattered. Yet, in my comfort zone, I can be really playful, which is sometimes mistaken for flirting. It's a fine line, one that's often exploited by those with less honourable intentions, let's say. What is the male equivalent of a manic pixie dream girl? Drop your thoughts below. Oh, and hit subscribe. I keep forgetting to ask people to do that for more than just relationship content. I've often been called refreshing and authentic in response to my traits that are unconventional. Quirky, perhaps, and to some people this can be attractive. It's also true that being atypical, my non-verbal cues, whatever they might be, could be as confusing to neurotypicals as they are to me. It's so important, then, to have clear communication, especially around romantic relationships. Start as you mean to go on, even if it frightens away a neurotypical fish or two. Shout out to my ADHD friends who have supported my dating life and helped polish my social skills. That support network is vital. For autistic folks, rehearsing social scripts with safe friends can be an absolute game changer. One of my friends even managed my dating profile, leading me to meet Nina. So, my top tip, make some autism-friendly friends. Are you ready to brush up on your small group social skills? Check out my next video here. 4 tips on the small of the talk. This video has been brought to you by Gibson! I'm sorry, Gibson. Bye!